top5rapwebsite.com. You already know what's going on. Today, quick little vlog. I got my cold brew on deck. Just want to discuss the DMX versus Snoop Dogg versus battle that was just announced. I firstly want to say that shout out to DMX, shout out to Snoop. You already know how I feel about Snoop Dogg. If you don't, go watch my top 10 West Coast rappers of all time video. Number 2, I got Snoop Dogg, the discography, and it's more than just Doggy Style. And that's where people get it messed up. It's more than just Doggy Style. I'm talking about the Dogfather. I'm talking about The Last Meal, R&G. Those albums would Drop It Like It's Hot with Beautiful featuring Pharrell. Snoop is number 2. He could be number 1 easily. I feel like this is a mismatch for DMX. I don't feel like DMX should be matched with Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg is a guy that has so many hit records, featured on so many hit records across so many decades. From the deep cover days, 187 on the Undercover Cop with Dr. Dre, all the way to Sensual Seductions, which was late 2000s. Snoop Dogg should be matched against someone like Jay-Z or a Drake. Those are two guys, Jay-Z and Drake. They have so many records, so many singles, so many features, hits that you forgot about, throwbacks, regional classics. I feel like Drake and Jay-Z are the only two who can really compete each other, because what these battles turn into, it doesn't really turn into, who had the best lyrics or this or that. It becomes a hits battle. And DMX, he has his hits, but I feel like DMX, he may be more suited to go against someone like an Eminem. Still a legend, but Eminem is also a guy who had his spurt. He had like his peak, and then it kind of wilted off from there. Sure, he still does numbers, but in terms of cultural and public perception, Eminem had like a peak, kind of like DMX had a peak, and then it kind of went downwards. Whereas with a guy like Snoop, he has hits all the way through, from the beginning all the way until now. It's been a while since Snoop's last hit record, but if you just look at he started early 90s all the way until the late 2000s with the Blue Carpet Treatment, which was I think the last album where he really had hit records. I don't think that this is going to wind up well for DMX. I think DMX can win, and that's only if Snoop Dogg doesn't play the right records. If Snoop Dogg goes up here and starts playing Young, Wild, and Free with Wiz Khalifa, which, still a good record, I don't think Snoop Dogg is going to survive there. But if Snoop Dogg comes in playing stuff with Tupac, All About You, Two of America's Most Wanted, if Snoop Dogg comes in playing his stuff with 213 and Nate Dogg, like I'm Fly, Still Fly, if Snoop Dogg comes in playing certain East Siders record like G'd Up, if Snoop Dogg plays his stuff from The Chronic from 2001, Bitch Niggas off 2001, like come on, Snoop Dogg has a whole record with NWA called Chin Check, minus Eazy-E. If Snoop Dogg comes playing that, Snoop Dogg has aggressive records to go against DMX's aggressive records. It's not like Snoop just has bubblegum hits, pop hits, but then he has something that DMX doesn't have. Records like Beautiful with Pharrell, records like Let's Get Blown with Pharrell. The Neptunes damn near lead produced an entire Snoop Dogg album, R&G. This is another topic that I go back to often as well. People's lack of West Coast hip hop knowledge. A lot of people don't want to give Snoop credit outside of Doggy Style. Like that's his only good album. What about The Last Meal? What about R&G? Or even if we don't want to talk hits, we want to just talk good music. What about Bush? 7 Days of Funk, Cousins, which was released on Stone's Throw, featuring Daz Dillinger, Dogfather. When DMX gets to playing a Rough Riders anthem and things of that nature, because DMX has those really great, what people call 3 classic albums. What is DMX going to do when Snoop plays Nothing But a G Thing, and then plays Two of America's Most Wanted, and then plays Drop It Like It's Hot? And then plays Beautiful, and then plays Murder Was the Case, and then plays G's and Hustlers, and then goes back into 2001 and plays some of those records. I don't think this is a really good matchup for DMX, because Snoop has so many sounds, and he has so many records over like 20-30 years, and DMX mostly has like a 4-year period where he really killed it. Like I said, I feel like DMX may have been better matched up, versus an Eminem or someone who also had a very strong peak. Snoop I feel like Snoop, he's like one of the only guys that could take Jay-Z out. He's one of the only guys that could take Drake out, or to even compete to where it's even interesting. Snoop has that many records. So, you know, shout out to DMX though. You know, we do recognize DMX as, you know, one of the better MCs, one of the greats, especially coming out of his city, Yonkers. You know, he came out with a flow and with a delivery that a lot of guys could not imitate. When you talk about Jay-Z, I mentioned Jay-Z in this video. DMX is a guy that goes verse for verse, can go verse for verse with Jay-Z back in those days. I just feel like this is a mismatch. If Snoop comes out playing Young, Wild, and Free and Sensual Seduction, then I think that DMX is going to have a chance. It's not like DMX has a weak discography, but I don't see DMX winning if Snoop comes out playing Lay Low. You know, if Snoop comes out playing the records from The Chronic from 2001 and then digs deeper into his bag and starts playing stuff like Cali is Active. You know, if Snoop has about 5, 6, 7 records that no matter what you play, that's an automatic W. So, you know, shout out to DMX. We are looking forward to seeing, hopefully, you know, Snoop gets one of his great DJs and takes, you know, his fans' advice and really combines all those to get his 20 records. Because we don't really want to hear the pop stuff. We don't want to hear Sensual Seduction. We want you to really remind dudes, because a lot of dudes like to front like Snoop only has one good album. You know, even songs like The Wash with Dr. Dre. Y'all remember that song? Hits that we forgot about. Shout out to Snoop. Hopefully he plays stuff like that more so than the Sensual Seductions and the Young, Wild, and Free. Even though those are still huge records. You know, DMX is going to come out with aggression in his aggressive records. And Snoop has just as many records to match, plus the pop stuff. So again, I feel like this is a mismatch for DMX, but it should be pretty interesting. This is probably going to be one of my favorite versus battles. So far, my favorite was probably Jonte versus Neo. But this one is, you know, probably going to be my favorite. Hopefully Snoop plays his shit, you know, the stuff that we go up for. You know, shout out to DMX. You know, we're going to enjoy revisiting those Rough Riders records. So anyways, short little vlog today. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Who knows, I may even react to this versus battle. I'm definitely gonna come in and score it myself. Hopefully Snoop gets that easy W. It should be an easy W though. Easy W. Top5rapwebsite.com. Peace.